Hi guys, I'm back, and today we're going to try the bloom technique. This originated with SheleeArt in Australia. She does the absolute most beautiful work. She created an online course so people could learn from her how to do their technique, and then there have been quite a few people who have shared this technique on their channels. So hopefully, now that there are so many people out there doing it, you guys will forgive me for attempting the same technique, but it's so pretty and it's so cool. I had to give it a try. So I will go ahead and explain to you what products we're using. Now, I was not going to try this technique because it's expensive, but luckily I have most of the ingredients that we need in the house already. So I found that if you have everything already together, go ahead and give it a try. But if you're not, if you're looking for cheap materials, this is not it. I'm gonna start with the colors that I'm using. I've got this this pink. It was mica powder, and I mixed it in a little bit of polyacrylic, and then I mixed it with the pouring medium, which I'm fixing to explain to you. And it was just pink. It came out of my daughter's lip gloss making kit. So she just let me use the rest of it. So that's where that came from. And then we've got Anita's paints. I was using Apple Barrel, and I'll probably still use them sometimes. But I find that the Anita's all-purpose acrylic craft paints, their colors are brighter, especially when they dry. And they're a little bit shinier than the Apple Barrel paints. So, and if you can get these on sale, they're almost the same price as the Apple Barrel. So still, you guys can use the Apple Barrel paints for any of these projects. They work really, really well. They're just not quite as glowing and gorgeous when they dry. They have sort of a dull tint to them, and they're not quite as bright when they dry. But the Anita's are beautiful paints. I haven't used them too much, but on the last project, the chessboard that I put up for you guys, these were the colors that I used. These were some of the colors that I used. So we've got the Anita's metallic antique gold, and then the Anita's deep eggplant, deep blue sea, and island blue. And then of course we got the pink mica powder. So those are going to be our colors. The products that you're going to need are the Glidden interior white paint. It doesn't have to be, it just has to be a semi-gloss house paint white. This is from September of 2011. I had this in our building, and we needed some white paint for a project we were doing, and we found that, and clearly you can see I just dropped sawdust everywhere. So it's been sitting around a while. So you need that, and that's going to be your base coat. And then you're going to need some sort of, doesn't have to be Glidden, your house paint doesn't have to be Glidden, it just happened to be what I had, some ultra deep base semi-gloss untinted base. Now, once I poured this out, it doesn't say untinted anywhere on my little container, but I did see somebody else using this. It's the exact same one, so I'm hoping this is correct, but it looks really white to me. But anyhow, this is what you need. The Glidden semi-gloss ultra deep base, untinted. And you're going to mix that with your Minwax polyacrylic, which is what I used to use to coat my paintings. I still do sometimes. And then you're going to need some sort of titanium white. Today I've got the Liquitex titanium white. And you're going to mix that with a little bit of floetrol. And you guys know I use the floetrol. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and mix just one little thing of paint. Now, see, this worries me because, like I said, I haven't done this before. I haven't even experimented off camera with this. This is the experimentation. So hopefully this is going to work. But this is really thick. And I think it's supposed to be really thick, but it's really white. So I'm not sure what the colors are going to do when they mix in, when they dry. I really don't know. But we're going to go ahead and mix up the 4 colors of paint. The ratio of the polyacrylic to the semi-gloss ultra deep base, you need 1 ounce of the polyacrylic and then 3 ounces of the ultra deep base. So that's what I've mixed up here. I usually don't measure anything, but I figured I would follow the recipes that I've seen. Now, I have not watched the SheleeArt course. So I'm just going by what I've seen a lot of other people doing on other channels. I don't want to specifically name anybody because I've sort of just watched everybody and sort of taken what I thought might be what would work the best for me. So we've got about the same amount. I don't have any idea how much that is in there. We're just pouring it in. And then we're going to add our paint. And I don't know how much paint we need to add either. So I'm just going to put a squirt in there. Oh, I got some in there. That's no big deal. Mix that up and see what it does. Okay, well, at least it's still blue. So hopefully this is actually untinted base and not somehow tinted white. But it's very, very thick. I mean, you can see it writes in there. This is almost the thickness that I do my normal paints when I do just a regular pour, where you can see it sort of globbing down on top of the surface, and then it sort of disappears after about 3 seconds. That's about what I do. So then we'll do some green. And yay, it's still green. Okay. And just so you guys know, you may notice that I'm wearing gloves for probably one of the very few times that I've ever worn gloves on my channel. I've had several comments over the course of my channel. Please wear gloves. The paint's not good for you. The floetrol is really not good for you. So, towards the end of my videos from before, I was starting to get just a ton of headaches. And I'm accustomed to headaches. I've always had them. So, I didn't really equate it with the paint too much. But I started thinking about it, and I thought, well, you know, I know the floetrol is not good for you. And since it was constantly soaking into my hands, I figured it's probably, could be partly why I was getting so many headaches. So we're going to try for a while to wear gloves. I'm going to try and be good. And thank you everyone for your concern about me wearing gloves. And where have I been the past few months? You know, there were some things that I had to take a break. And wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come back. And then I got really super sick. And I was sick for about 2 solid months with, I don't know, whatever virus was going around at the time, the respiratory virus. And then I ended up getting, it turned into bronchitis, and a severe case of bronchitis. So I was really sick. And now I am much better. Still got a little cough, but doing much better. And I'm going to wipe this sawdust off because it's just visually bothering me. Okay. So, the idea behind this, I'm just going to make sure we're still in focus here. Huh? Looks like it. Good. Sometimes when you have just a big white surface in front of you, it kind of goes out of focus. All right, so we have here the interior white house paint. Now, this is slightly off-white because it was an oops paint when we bought it. And when you buy an oops paint, you can't return it, and they add just a hint of color. So this is not white, but I mean, it looks really white to me. So, but yeah, if you want to try this, go looking in the oops paint aisle. You can find a gallon of paint sometimes for somewhere between $5 and $9. Used to be $5 at Home Depot, and now I think they're about $9. But still, $9 for like a $30 gallon of paint is a complete steal. So you're supposed to pour a puddle in the center, and it's supposed to be super thick, which obviously it is really thick. This is really, really, really thick. I'm going to set that down. And then add some color. This is so thick. I'm just not convinced that this is not too thick. But we shall see. And you're not supposed to put a lot of color in there. Just a little bit. So we're going to leave it at that. And then I think we're going to go with some gold. think we'll maybe do 4 colors on this one. Maybe not all the colors. Because you're still supposed to have white on here. It's supposed to be. And then some of this pretty green. That's enough. Now let's put a little bit of this pink mica in there. Kind of lost some of the pretty from it, but when I added it to the pouring medium, so to speak, but it's still pretty. I'm just trying to pop some of those bubbles. You're not supposed to heat this up with the torch, but it's very tempting to do that. And then the white is supposed to go in the center. And your white is supposed to be a little thinner than the rest of your paints. The white, the titanium white, like I said, is mixed with the floetrol. And I put a hint of water in it because it was still way too thick. Okay, we're going to go with that. Now you're supposed to pick it up and blow on it. So it'll probably be out of camera a little bit. Okay, so I've blown on it. I'm not entirely sure what this is going to turn out to look like. I'm not too thrilled with it so far. You got a little bit going on here and right there. You're supposed to let it sit for a minute and then stretch it. Now this paint was so thick, and the paints in the middle were so thick they really didn't want to move. But we do have the, the kind of cells going on that I was hoping for. So I'm going to let it sit for just a minute. I'm going to put the video on pause while it just sits, and we'll be right back and we'll stretch it out. Okay, so I don't have much patience for sitting here. Those of you who have watched me from the beginning know that I do not have a lot of patience. Got a little more cells coming up through here. And this section is really pretty right here. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Let me see if I can get you guys in really close. So maybe you can see what I'm talking about here. There we go. So this right here is really pretty. And it's, what we were hoping for. So let's refocus. And now I think we're going to try to stretch it. And for this, you're not going to want, I don't think you're going to want a corner catcher. I'd love to save this. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So we'll stretch it maybe this way first. And then try and stretch it back the other way. And the whole idea is to get these cells to stretch really far and nice and elongated. I'll pull some of that over so it'll hopefully pull it over the edge there. Okay, I don't want to go any further because I don't want to lose that. I don't know about this. Now, like I said, this is if you don't have all the products for this, this is an expensive little experiment. So I won't be doing many of these. This is a very slow stretching process, as you can see. Oh my goodness. This is agony. Let's see if we can get more to go off this side. Thor, don't bark, please. Shh. Thor, be quiet. Thor, quiet, bud. Okay, that's enough there. Let's see if we can get it to go back that way. And we'll pour it off the other side. Okay, I'm sorry he keeps barking. He must hear something outside that he's got to go investigate, but he's just going to have to wait. That's what we've got so far. I'm not sure if I'm really thrilled with that or not. Not really. It's kind of pretty though. It looks like an alien. Kind of interesting, I think. Sort of, kind of. Let's see if we can go back and then go maybe off that corner, because it needs something over here. Oops. Sorry if y'all can't see a lot of what I'm doing. This is really taking its time. And I think like if I took my torch to it, it would pop all these bubbles and you have all these little pinholes into color. I'm guessing that's why they tell you not to pop the bubbles with a torch. Doesn't seem like it wants to move much. Let's see if we can get it to go off this corner. It's going. There we go. It's going. See? It's going. It's going. I'm going to take all the white off that corner. I think. Well, no, maybe not. I think we'll leave it like that. Let's bring it back a little bit. Okay, that's it. We're going to leave it like that. Okay. I think for my first one, it's actually kind of pretty. Now, this section right here is obviously the best. It worked the best. I'm not so sure about the rest of it. You see when you blow the bubbles, they pop and then you've got little specks. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. We're going to let that dry. And then we'll pour resin over it later once it's like completely dry. I'm guessing this will take a while longer to dry than the normal just regular acrylic paints, but who knows. Just going to get all the drips off the bottom there and move it over. It's kind of pretty. So let me take my gloves off here so I can take y'all down and show you a little bit of a close-up. Okay, a little bit of a close-up. that section right there, that actually worked the right way. um, and I guess you can see how like the paint is sort of fading into the white. I guess that's because of the house paint. Kind of almost like a cloud effect. See, this technique is so similar to so many other techniques. Not really sure why people were in such an uproar over people sharing this technique, because to me, and please don't get upset with me, but to me this is very, very similar to Rinska Downa's Dutch pour. It's very similar to that. We get this very similar effect. Also, the two open cups that I did, the results were very similar. Different pattern on the canvas because we did it a different way, but I don't know. Okay, it's pretty. Okay, well, I said I wasn't going to do any more, most likely after this, but I'll probably do a couple more just because I have the mixed paints and a little bit more of my pouring medium mixture. So we'll probably just take the same colors, maybe not quite all of them, and do another one or two of these before we put the house paint and the polyacrylic away. I don't know. I mean, it's really pretty. I like it. I think it's going to look gorgeous once we pour some resin on it, especially. Hopefully the mica powder and the gold will sort of shimmer a little more. Maybe we'll put a little more gold and in the next one instead of more of the colors. Okay, so there's your pretty for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have, most of these products, go out and try it. It's definitely something interesting and new, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be working on this for a while. This is the new thing at the moment. So, yeah. If you would watch the ads in the videos, you guys don't know how much that actually helps out a YouTube artist. We get a few pennies from each ad that you actually watch all the way through, and that is what goes towards my product purchase. Otherwise, I would not be able to continue with my channel. So any ad revenue I get, any contributions you guys love to make to my PayPal, go straight into my account for paints, polyacrylic, resin, anything that I use on my channel. So please, be assured that every penny that you donate to my channel or every ad that you watch is helping my channel to grow. So thank you very much in advance for watching the ads and donating to my channel. And I still have a Stone Coat Art Coat resin promo code. It's HWA. So if you go to Stone Coat Art Coat or Stone Coat Countertops, you can get $10 off of a $95 order. So, and it's actually way more cost effective if you buy the gallon size resin as opposed to the half gallon. So the resin is just the most gorgeous resin ever. I love it, and you guys should try it. It's perfect for these tiles and gives you gorgeous glass-like finish. Then you can use these tiles as trivets because it's like heat resistant up to like 475 degrees, I think. So anyway, I digress. This was fun. The bloom technique, I think it worked pretty well. We might try putting a little more white in there, maybe. I don't know. But it's worth experimenting with. So wherever you're on the planet, hope you had an awesome afternoon, day, evening, or night. See you later. Bye.